Please take your seat. You're Ankita.
Yes.
Ankita Mishra.
Yes, sir.
Ankita, are you vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
I just want to inform you that all board members are also vaccinated. So it makes sense to remove your mask?
Yes.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ankita, to begin with, please tell us something about yourself.
So, I'm Ankita Mishra. I come from Lucknow. I've done my electrical engineering from Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology. Thereafter, I worked in PepsiCo for some time, and presently I am training as a Assistant Commissioner Commercial Tax in UP government.
Assistant Commissioner
Commercial
Tax. So it's a Public Service Commission
Yes,
appointment?
UPPCS.
UPPCS.
Yes, sir.
Which batch?
So I was selected in 2018, but I joined in 2021.
That is because you delayed it?
No, sir. The results were delayed.
Results were delayed. And you're under trainee, right?
Yes, sir.
So what are going to be your responsibility once you become Assistant Commissioner Commercial Tax?
So the most important responsibility as Assistant Commissioner Commercial Tax is to provide a registration to the new businesses, and to be very vigilant of the fact that the quality of tax base for the government as well as the quantity of tax collection remains growth, like it should have a growth perspective.
And currently, if we look at the revenue of Uttar Pradesh from where you're coming,
Yes, sir.
What percentage of it is commercial tax?
So as per the budget 2020, the recent budget 2022, nearly 30% of the state revenue that it comes from commercial taxes, GST, and it comprises the largest tax revenue of the state.
But tell me, if you look at the GST part here, do you believe that the states, all states, have lost their ability to maneuver the finances of the state because of the GST? They cannot alter the tax slabs.
So GST, the amendment itself, 101st Amendment itself has a GST Council, and GST Council works on the principle of cooperative federalism.
Which is very beautifully placed, but the fact is that it effectively means center.
So there, most of 2/3 of the voting share is given to the states, and the quorum is 70%.
So no, it further reduced the single state to minimal.
So I think it was brought by a constitutional amendment in which
obviously, we are not saying that it should be there or should not be there.
Yes,
My
sir.
question is, its impact is that the North states do not have the kind of maneuverability they used to have earlier in terms of revenue.
So, but if we see the other positive aspects of GST, like increasing the tax base because of increased registration, then increasing compliance, and then one nation, one market that it is bringing on, the revenue of the states is also increasing. Like we've seen, in spite of the economic hit that the country had faced, we have seen record GST collections. It is nearly about 1.4 lakh crores. And it has been over 1.3 lakh crores over 2 quarters of 2021. So as a whole, if we see, the tax revenue of the states is also improving. Like for Uttar Pradesh also, in the last 2 quarters, the tax revenue has seen percentage growth. And I think by looking at it as a whole picture, GST is providing better, like the cascading impact is reduced. So for consumer, it is better. It is also better for the manufacturing and the MSME sector, and it's also good for the government. So as a whole, I think the impact is on a positive direction.
Okay, thank you, Ankita.
Ankita,
Yes, ma'am.
as a resident of Uttar Pradesh, can you just enumerate 2 major social challenges?
Ma'am, according to me, I think there are various challenges, but 2 most important challenges are gender-based discrimination and caste-based discrimination.
And 2 political challenges?
Ma'am, again, they're numerous, but I think the most important political challenge over the period has been the vote bank politics. But now, little change has been seen over a period
And
of time.
second?
And second would be, ma'am, absence of women in political representation.
And 2 major economic challenges?
Ma'am, the first and the most important is attracting investment in Uttar Pradesh, because most of its economy is dependent on agriculture, and second, I think it is generating gainful employment, because it has one of the highest number of youth population, and it needs to generate gainful employment for youth.
Very good. As a student of philosophy, can you tell me what is the philosophy of Ankita Mishra?
as I've read philosophy over time, I've realized that there's no one absolute philosophy. This is what the subject of philosophy teaches. That, like in physics also, we see there's no one unifying field that can unify all the fields. In mathematics, we lose consistency if we go towards completeness. Similarly, in ethics also, there's no one specific law that could be applied. So I don't have a specific philosophy that I can apply to all the aspects of my life. But based on my experience, ma'am, I'd say being simple is something that is mostly useful and I resonate with in most aspects of my life.
And have you heard about the term minimalism?
Yes, ma'am.
And how is simple different from minimalism?
Ma'am, simplicity, as I understand it, is more of an internal concept. Your own desires, your own ambitions and aspirations, your thoughts, your emotions, it deals with more internal concept. While minimalism would be little externalized, like needing minimum material things or organizing the environment around you so that you waste less amount of time and resources. That would be minimalism.
Are you ambitious?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, isn't being simple and being ambitious a little contradictory?
Gandhiji was the most ambitious man, but he was also known for his simplicity. So they are not mutually exclusive. I am ambitious and I would find the simplest way to attain my ambition. That is my simplicity, ma'am.
Very nice. Can you tell me which philosophy do you find most logical? Take into consideration Western and Indian both.
Ma'am, from the perspective of logic, if I see, I find Advaita Vedanta to be very consistent. But if I see the logical applicability in present scenario, I find Buddhism quite relevant.
Very true. You are from Gorakhpur.
I was born in Gorakhpur.
You were born in Gorakhpur. Do you have any idea about the mythology behind your that particular region, the Gorakh?
Yeah, ma'am, it's associated with Nath Panth. Nath Panth is an aesthetic school that believes in Hatha Yoga. It is a very egalitarian school of thought that does not believe in any kind of discrimination of caste or degree of highness or lowness.
Okay, my last question to you. If your superiors intimidate you, you are posted in some district, and if your superiors intimidate you and there is no other way out, and you want to complain and there is no way to complain even, what will you do?
I think there are multiple guidelines that are available to me. First of all, there are constitutional values that will guide me.
They're not harassing, they're not doing anything, they're just saying you relax, we'll do all the work.
I have not worked so hard for so many years to go and relax. I'm there to make myself effective and present. So I will not sit silently, but at the same time, I don't believe in creating a lot of friction also, because then the system won't work. So I would try and I would find the soft spot, somebody I can influence first with my capabilities, and from there on I will build on I will let my work speak for my credit. Ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Hello, Ankita. You are from Uttar Pradesh and known for such a huge human resource.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the demographic dividend that India has can also be a disaster?
Yes, sir. I think it is a potential, and it will depend on the way we harness it. If we are not able to create, firstly, skill people to meet the challenges of coming century and create employment for them, then it can turn into a disaster. But government has taken a lot of steps in that direction and is cognizant of this fact. And we can see that India is also progressing on various fronts because of its youth population, and primarily led by information technology and services.
Any country that can act as a role model for India? Like there are so many countries who have done very well with their human capital investment.
I think, sir, Japan is one country that has invested very well.
3 lessons that India should take from Japan?
So firstly, their work culture. They are known for their discipline, punctuality, and this is where India can learn from the most.
So Indians are not punctual? Or?
So my observation has been, I've worked in PepsiCo also, and I've seen Japanese workers work while they come from Japan for the maintenance of the machines.
Okay.
And their aptness, accuracy is unmatchable.
Fine. Second one. First is the punctuality, you said, work culture. Second?
Second, sir, their investment in research and development.
Okay.
And third would be health is an important sector for human resource development.
And what is the percentage of budget for the research and development in Japan, and if we compare it to the India?
I know that it is greater than India. I am not sure of the exact percentage, sir.
Okay, perfect. Another problem that we see in this region, like
agriculture is so very high,
Yes, sir.
but there are floods and droughts at the same time.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of water crisis that we see, especially in the western Uttar Pradesh region. How do we define water crisis?
So geographically, water crisis, there is an index that says that if water availability per capita, it becomes lesser than, if I'm not wrong, 1000 per cubic
Okay.
meters, it becomes a water crisis situation.
Mhm.
And in Uttar Pradesh, this is not only geographical, it is also economic and social. Geographical in the western UP because the rainfall is limited,
Okay.
and in Bundelkhand because of the
Yes, it is
terrain.
less. What is the economic aspect of it?
Sir, agriculture. In agriculture, because of water being subsidized and electricity being subsidized, there is tube well irrigation. And tube well irrigation often leads to overuse of water. And overuse of water creates groundwater depletion.
Has it led to some other problems also?
Quality of water is also declined, sir.
And what about quality of soil?
and so quality of soil also because
It has been declining.
Yes, sir.
So what do you suggest to resolve this water crisis?
If I look into the causes of water crisis, the first and the most important I feel is the attitude of the people. We usually see water as an infinite resource, which it is not. We have to treat it as a valuable commodity. And for that, certain behavioral change is very important. And that is also being targeted through Jal Jeevan Mission.
Okay. Anything to do with the storage capacity?
Storage capacity, yes, so like maintenance and storage of water is also important because most of the water, if it runs off, then it is of no use. So we have to invest in afforestation so that the water retention increases in groundwater.
Ankita,
Yes.
were you not part of election duty this time?
No, sir, I wasn't given election duty.
You were not given election duty?
No, sir.
Okay, fair enough. But have you ever been into any kind of election duty ever?
No, sir. Duty, I haven't. I've voted though.
You voted?
Yes.
Okay. You are actually, you have a habit of journalism, right?
Journaling.
What
yes,
is
sir.
that?
It's basically diary writing, sir. But little more broader than that. Like
A little more broader in that context. Now, coming on to the DAF area, you have done your schooling from Dayanand Public School. What was the contribution of Dayanand Saraswati in Indian history?
Sir, Dayanand Saraswati is known for a movement called Arya Samaj. And Arya Samaj movement basically focused on going back to Vedas. But it was not going back to Vedas in terms of going back to times of Vedas, but going back to the values of Vedas. He was a very progressive man.
What was the real name of Dayanand Saraswati?
So I'm forgetting.
You don't know?
I know, sir, but I'm unable to recall right
Dayanand Saraswati talked about Pakhand Khandini Pataka. What is that?
now. I'm sorry, sir.
You don't know? Okay. Very interestingly, you graduated from Motilal Nehru National Institute of Technology, one of the eminent institutions in India.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you go in the history, Lord Birkin had actually challenged us
Yes.
that the Indian Constitution cannot be drafted. Rather, the agreed Indian Constitution cannot be drafted. Now, in the retaliation of that, Motilal Nehru prepared Nehru Report.
Yes, sir.
Now, what was the key features? What are the key features of Nehru Report in that context?
So, Nehru Report, firstly, it talked about fundamental rights. It also talked about creating linguistic states. Then, at that time, because of the religious divide in the country, there was a demand